In a world of constant change, Breaking News Hub brings you the stories that matter. Fast, accurate, and always ahead of the curve. This is BNH TV, where news breaks first. Subscribe now and never miss a headline.
The recent conflict between Israel and Hamas has left a trail of devastation and displacement, primarily in the Gaza Strip. A ceasefire agreement, now in its fifth day, has brought a pause to the relentless violence. This truce, however, remains fragile, as tensions persist, and the underlying issues of the conflict remain unresolved. The situation underscores the urgent need for a lasting peace agreement to prevent further bloodshed and suffering. The international community has welcomed the ceasefire as a crucial step towards de-escalation. World leaders are now urging both sides to seize this opportunity to engage in meaningful dialogue and address the root causes of the conflict. The ceasefire has allowed for the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza, offering a glimmer of hope to the beleaguered population. The resilience of the people of Gaza is truly remarkable. Despite enduring unimaginable hardship, they remain committed to rebuilding their lives and creating a better future for their children. The international community must stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people and provide unwavering support for their right to live in peace, security, and dignity. The path to a lasting peace in the region will be arduous and require the commitment of all parties involved. The Gaza Strip, a densely populated enclave, has been ravaged by the recent conflict, leaving its infrastructure in ruins. Its people are grappling with a humanitarian crisis of staggering proportions. Entire neighborhoods are reduced to rubble, leaving thousands homeless. Hospitals, schools, and essential infrastructure are destroyed. The healthcare system is on the verge of collapse. Hospitals are overwhelmed with the injured. There's a severe shortage of medical supplies and personnel. Lack of clean water and sanitation poses a serious health threat. The psychological toll on civilians, especially children, is immense. Constant fear and loss have left deep scars on Gaza's people. Rebuilding Gaza requires massive international effort and sustained humanitarian assistance. As the ceasefire takes hold, the grim task of recovering bodies from the rubble has begun in Gaza. Rescue workers are racing against time to locate survivors trapped beneath the debris. The death toll is mounting, with over 47,000 Palestinian fatalities reported. Each life lost represents a tragedy, a stark reminder of the human cost of this conflict. The recovery efforts are hampered by the sheer scale of the destruction and the lack of heavy machinery. The international community must provide immediate assistance to support the recovery efforts. For the nearly 2 million displaced Palestinians in Gaza, life remains a daily struggle for survival. Many are seeking refuge in overcrowded UN shelters, where conditions are dire. These shelters lack basic necessities such as clean water, sanitation, and adequate food supplies. The risk of disease outbreaks is high, particularly among children and the elderly. Adding to their woes, heavy rains have flooded many of these makeshift shelters, compounding the misery of the displaced. The flooding has also raised concerns about waterborne diseases, further threatening the health of those already vulnerable. The international community must prioritize the provision of shelter, food, water, and sanitation facilities to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe. The psychological impact of displacement, especially on children, is profound. Having witnessed unimaginable horrors and lost their homes and belongings, many children are traumatized. They require psychosocial support and access to education to help them cope with the trauma and rebuild their lives. The international community must provide sustained support to ensure the well-being of these displaced populations and create conditions conducive to their safe and dignified return home. Section 5. A Lifeline of Aid. The ceasefire has allowed for a much-needed influx of humanitarian aid into Gaza. International organizations, including the United Nations, are working tirelessly to deliver essential supplies to those in desperate need. The UN's Migration Agency has sent its first convoy of shelters and sanitation supplies, aiming to provide immediate relief to 10,000 people. However, the scale of the humanitarian crisis is immense, and the needs far outweigh the available resources. The international community must scale up its aid efforts to meet the urgent needs of the people of Gaza. This includes providing food, water, medicine, shelter materials, and hygiene kits. Beyond immediate relief, it is crucial to address the long-term needs of the Gaza Strip. This includes supporting the reconstruction of homes, schools, hospitals, and other critical infrastructure. Investing in education, healthcare, and economic opportunities for the Palestinian people is essential to break the cycle of poverty and despair. The international community must demonstrate its solidarity with the people of Gaza by providing sustained and comprehensive support for their recovery and rebuilding efforts. Section 6. Tensions flare in Jenin. While the ceasefire holds in Gaza, tensions have escalated in the West Bank. Israel launched a major military operation in Jenin, a city known for its history of resistance, citing the need to suppress militant activity. The Israeli military operation has resulted in Palestinian casualties, further stoking tensions in the region. Palestinian Authority officials have condemned the Israeli operation, accusing Israel of using excessive force and violating international law. The operation has also drawn condemnation from international human rights groups who have called for an independent investigation into the civilian casualties. The escalating violence in Jenin underscores the fragility of the situation in the West Bank. The Israeli occupation, the expansion of settlements, and the lack of progress towards a two-state solution continue to fuel frustration and anger among Palestinians. The international community must urge both sides to exercise restraint, avoid actions that could further escalate tensions, and resume negotiations towards a peaceful resolution. The cycle of violence in Jenin highlights the urgent need for a just and lasting solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, one that addresses the legitimate aspirations of both Palestinians and Israelis. Section 7. Silencing the press. In a disturbing development, the Palestinian Authority arrested an Al Jazeera reporter who was covering the Israeli military operation in Jenin. The arrest has raised concerns about press freedom and the Palestinian Authority's crackdown on dissent. The journalist had previously been barred from reporting by the Palestinian Authority, raising further concerns about restrictions on freedom of the press. Journalists play a crucial role in conflict zones, providing independent and impartial reporting on events as they unfold. It is imperative that they are allowed to carry out their work without fear of intimidation, harassment, or arrest. The international community must condemn the arrest of the Al Jazeera reporter and urge the Palestinian Authority to immediately release him and respect the right to freedom of the press. Silencing journalists only serves to obscure the truth and hinder efforts to promote accountability and justice. A free and independent press is essential for holding those in power accountable and ensuring transparency. It is a cornerstone of any functioning democracy and a fundamental human right that must be protected. Section 8. A delayed departure from Lebanon. The ceasefire agreement also included provisions for the withdrawal of Israeli troops from southern Lebanon. However, Israel has hinted at a possible delay in the withdrawal, citing concerns over the slow deployment of the Lebanese army. This has sparked anger and frustration among Hezbollah, the Iran-backed group that controls southern Lebanon. Hezbollah has urged the Lebanese government to pressure Israel to adhere to the agreed-upon withdrawal timeline, warning of potential consequences if the deadline is not met. The group has accused Israel of violating the ceasefire agreement and warned of a possible resumption of hostilities if the withdrawal is not completed as scheduled. The situation in southern Lebanon remains tense, with both sides on high alert. The international community must engage in diplomatic efforts to de-escalate tensions and ensure the full implementation of the ceasefire agreement. The United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, plays a crucial role in monitoring the ceasefire and facilitating the withdrawal of Israeli forces. The international community must support UNIFIL's efforts and urge both sides to exercise restraint and avoid actions that could jeopardize the fragile peace. Section 9. The long road to recovery. As residents of southern Lebanon return to their homes after the Israeli withdrawal, they are confronted with the devastating impact of the conflict. Many are finding their homes and businesses reduced to rubble, their lives upended by the violence. The task of rebuilding their lives and communities seems daunting, but amidst the destruction, there is also resilience and hope. The international community must provide support for the reconstruction efforts in southern Lebanon, helping residents rebuild their homes, businesses, and infrastructure. Investing in education, healthcare, and economic opportunities will be crucial to restoring normalcy and creating a brighter future for the people of southern Lebanon. The road to recovery will be long and arduous, but the international community must stand by the people of Lebanon, providing the necessary support and assistance to help them heal and rebuild their lives. The conflict has had a profound impact on Lebanon, further straining its economy and exacerbating existing political and social divisions. The international community must address the root causes of instability in Lebanon, promoting dialogue, reconciliation, and good governance. Investing in Lebanon's future is not only a moral imperative but also a strategic necessity to prevent the country from sliding further into chaos and instability. Please subscribe, like, and comment on BNH TV for more updates.